mean, it's fucking all kicking off, isn't it?
I don't know where to. Can we go from beginning?
I thought I'd updated my tracker, but it's all kicking off.
Right. Was Roland Bain the first one to do something?
Yeah, with 20 gifted. So he needs to lose hope.
Roland Bain. I hope for you, Roland Bain, that if you need a snack accident in the night time, your favourite cereal is still in the cupboard. I don't know what you've done.
I mean, it's quite impressive. Oh, we are tonight, chat. We are on the old Nidhogger Sour Cherry exclamation mark mead. This stuff is this comes with my personal recommendation. I bought this bottle myself. Yeah, that was impressive. And then what he did.
And then what he did was...
You're going to laugh. What he did then is he gifted 50 more memberships.
Because he's clearly got sunstroke as well.
Yeah, obviously.
Terrible condition.
I hope for you, Roland, that the next time you go to the barber's and have a haircut, he gets it or she gets it perfect. You've never had a greater haircut. You never want a different haircut. And then afterwards, your hair never falls out, but it never grows.
Oh, it's always perfect.
Stays exactly as it was.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate haircuts where your hair has to grow into it a little bit. Because I think the point of going to a salon is that you leave looking...
And then Clive, thank you for the one gifted. And then... laugh, babe. You pick that pen back up. Because he gifted 50 more.
Yeah, I've already got it. I'm concerned for his health. He clearly has sunstroke. Clearly.
Yeah, maybe. I hope for you that next time you do a shop in a sort of supermarket and you buy a ton of fresh produce, every single time when you're at home, you go to eat any of that fresh produce, it is perfectly ripe.
That is a good one.
How often do you buy kiwis and you get home and they're like, you can either kill a man with it or they're just squidgy?
Yeah.
Wow. And then thank you, Clive. You said, I guess Liam can have the night off. And Roland Wargun already got sniped. Well, I did... excuse me. I did say to Luce just before we went live, that tonight is a mead kind of night.
Eldar and EC both just needed the detachment nerf, not the unit points. James and his workshop overdid it again. Frowning face emoji.
I think the Eldar points are okay, Rum. I think the Emperor's Children points are a kick in the fucking bollocks, I'll be honest. I wouldn't group them together. But thanks for the $5 anyway. And thank you so much, Clive, for the $5 too. You lot are amazing. I'm a little bit aghast, to be honest with you.
Gaz says, I knew Luce would like the fruit wish. Me and Ben are probably about a day away from running a pool on the mango that's in the fridge.
I don't... It's a lot to take 120 of my members and we've been live for a few minutes. You've kind of thrown me off a little bit, but thank you, you absolute legends. Legend specifically, but legends, obviously. Welcome back to the show. You are all fucking insane, and some of you some days are more insane than others. At that rate, we could be online. We could be on track for record at this rate. If we keep up this beat rate. Record, babe. How do you feel about that?
It'd be nice.
I did actually say to Luce, just before we went live, as I was saying, that tonight is a mead night. Because I've just kind of woke up today feeling meh. And I don't feel bad. And I don't feel annoyed or angry or upset. Just meh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meh. I've achieved maybe half of what I wanted to achieve today. Which is better than nothing, but is how it's been. So thankfully, if you have been keeping an eye on the updates from Games of the Workshop, you will notice that today they have decided to go back to Wednesdays for Balanced Dataslate Day. And so today, Games Workshop dropped a ton of articles on their website, including the Balanced Dataslate, which I'm going to pull up in front of you wonderful human beings in just a second, and we'll talk through it very, very quickly. and we'll have a quick scan through the Moonstone Field Manual, and we'll cover off all the things in red and all the updates. So if you haven't read it, watched it, looked at it, this is the place to come after they drop it, where we'll talk about it. They also dropped 3 new detachments, one for Tyranids, one for Dark Angels, one for Chaos Space Marines, all of which have got Joe excited, at least one of which you'll be seeing in play tomorrow. We'll be talking about those on the Liam and Joe show, so we won't cover those 3 detachments today, but because they're all factions that Joe plays now, we'll be covering all 3 of them tomorrow on the Liam and Joe show, so we can get his opinions on them as a person who plays Tyranids, Chaos Space Marines. And now you'll have no surprise as to why he's pivoted into Dark Angels recently when you see that detachment. It's not bad. It's pretty good. All right, it's pretty good. So I need to get it up. Where is it? Balance data sheet. I have to bring it over here like that. We need to get that one down like that. We need to get that one up there like that. You follow along, team. You follow along. We need to go over here and press F12, F11 even, and then zoom in a little bit, like that. And then we need to screenshot that. Okay. Balanced Dataslate, June 2025. Okay. New or revised text is presented in red, while text highlight applied to revisions made previously. Okay. So here we go. This is the new Balanced Dataslate front page. No real surprise, no real changes. Everything is the same. Page 1, Adeptus Sororitas has locked a rule in place. I need to get quite close to the fucking thing because I can't see the red properly on this screen because it's quite far away. We've got the Blazing Iron Strike. That's all. Okay, Champions of Faith Detachment, Righteous Purpose Detachment rule. In your command phase, you can select up to 3 Sororitas units from your army, including units that are embarked within transports until they start your next command phase. It's Righteous, while a Righteous, etc. While a unit is Righteous, etc., etc. Right, cool, perfect. Zephyrim apply to melee weapons. Cool. If a unit made a charge with this turn to the end of the phase, select both abilities to be applied to melee weapons for models in that unit. Yep, cool, no worries. Retributors, reroll a hit roll of 1 and a win roll of 1. If you unit from your army during the battle, add 1 to the hit roll and add 1 to the win roll instead. Alright, sweet. Easy. Cool. Okay. Adeptus Custodians lock some things in. The Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle jet bikes get locked in. All the damage profiles get locked in. No real surprises there. Everything so far, so good. Admech get a bunch of stuff locked in. They also get a load of stuff added. So Cybernetic Cohort Detachment, add 2 to the move characteristics of models and Legio Cybernetic units from your army. In addition, unless that unit's battle shocked, add 1 to the objective control characteristics of models in the unit. Makes them a bit better, that's cool. The Dyad War Wafers Enhancement, what the fuck a stupid name, right? When the bearer is attached to a Castellan robot unit until the end of the battle, models in the unit gain the Halo override keyword. That unit cannot be selected when selecting units as part of the new Spheric Transverse Detachment rule. Cool. They get some extra bonuses, right? All faction doctrine imperatives to the abilities section of add faction doctrine imperatives sections of the following data sheets. The new ones here is Cybernetic Datasmith and Castellan robots. They now get doctrine imperatives, which is good, right? Banging. Loads of locked in weapon profiles. Cool. Happy days. Aldari, some nerfs to the you need stuff. At the end of your opponent's shooting phase, if 1 or more Yunari units from your army were destroyed this phase, select 1 Yunari infantry or Yunari mounted unit from your army that was within 6 of your destroyed unit. That unit can make a normal move of up to D6 plus 1. Quite the hit there, but I'm not massively surprised. They can't seem to ever get Yunari quite right. Okay, the Assyrian ability is locked in. You have Reigns, Herald if you need. You can reroll a wound roll of a 1 now. All right, cool. That's the change there. Beautiful. Guard gets some stuff locked in. Lord Solar had a rules change which made Joe very, 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 very happy. Whereby he can now issue an order to Titanic units. That's super cool. We love that. Templars basically stayed the same. Of all of this stuff, I think. Yeah, the same. Yeah, good, good, good. Black Rage changed now. So you have to be within 12 inches of more of a friendly chapter model as before, but now you can also be within 6 inches of one or more friendly Blood Angels character models to gain your benefits, right? So if you're within 6 inches, you gain objective control, or you don't lose your objective control, I should say. Cool. Chaos Knights get some stuff locked in. Nothing really changed there. Chaos Demons, nothing really changed there either. Rob Paul, thank you for the 1 gifted. You're a legend. What a hero. Legion of Excess, all locked in stuff. These highlight things are things that changed previously and they've all just been locked in place, right? So the Scintillating Legion, It's changed to 1 CP for the pyrogenesis stratagem. Cool. Happy days. Bloodthirster. While a friendly legion with 6 army has a shadow of chaos. We know all this. This is stuff from a long time ago. Right. Chaos Space Marines have had some exciting changes, though. Some things that have got you very excited. So Dread Talons, that not locked in. Data sheets, though. Here's some changes. There's been some things that haven't been usable for a while, and they've tried to make some changes to make them more usable now. So the Demon Prince ability gains Lord of Chaos. While he's been 300 inches, he gets Loan Up, right? That's cool. I'm not surprised by that, because a lot of foot Demon Princes have gained that anyway. The Lord Discordant, however, got quite the changes. He gained 14 inches of movement from what was originally, I think, 10 inches of movement. He's gone from a 5-up invulnerable save to a 4-up invulnerable save. Corrupt Machine Spirits has changed to, at the start of your shooting phase, select 1 visible enemy vehicle unit within 12 inches and roll a d6. On 2 to 3, it suffers d3 mortals. On a 4 to 5, 3 mortals. On a 6, d3 plus 3 mortals. That's decent. Spirit Thief now, at the start of your shooting phase, select 1 visible enemy vehicle unit until the end of that phase. Each time a friendly Heretic Astartes model makes an attack, target's like you roll 1. That's cool. And his Impaler Chainglaive has gone to 5 attacks, up to Strength 8, up to AP 3, up to 3 damage. He's quite tasty now, I think. He's so face tasty, in fact. Joe asked me to pick him up 2 for the channel. And since Lord Discordance is some of my favourite models in the Chaos Space Marine range, I was happy to oblige. Vastor got better. He also gains Loan Up if he's within 3 inches of a demon vehicle, right, which is quite nice. And then each time an enemy unit within 8 inches of this model targets that model, subtract 1 from the hit roll. So the end of the phase, the enemy unit range weapons have hazardous. So if you get within 18 inches of Vashtor and you target him, you're in danger, right? Which is quite nice. We then changed Unholy Mechanism's ability. While a friendly demon vehicle unit within 6 inches, add 2 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit, which is nice. And his sweep profile, which is 2 damage, has gone up to 12 attacks and gained dev wounds. Oh my lord. Oh my fucking lord. So Vashtor claps, right? Vashtor claps, he's good. Cool, okay. Nothing changed, no change there for Warp Talons. Dark Angels remain basically the same. Nothing really changed here at all. Happy days. And then we get down to this sheet. And although the Deathwing Knights, maces, and power weapons all stayed the same, and the Unforgiving Task Force stuff stayed the same, the Lion went a bit mental. The Lion went a bit mental. So all secrets revealed used to be the nonsense. You want to use a stratagem within 12 inches of me, you take a battle shock test, and then you might not be able to use it, and blah, 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 all that crap that was never really used because it's overly complicated and a bit shit. He's now changed this ability completely. It's not even changed a bit, it's changed completely. It's now Mist-Wreathed Shadow Realms in your command phase. If the unit's not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, you can remove it from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserve. The Lion can give himself uppy downy, remembering he has Deep Strike on his data sheet.
The unit detachment reminds me of GSC. Ding.
GSC ding?
Ah, let me try again.
Alright, fucking Larry.
Let me try it again. Ready?
That's a fucking bouncy dog.
Yeah.
You put 10p in her. So the Lion gives himself uppy downy and has Deep Strike on his profile. He also has Martial Exemplar, or he can pick the Martial Exemplar ability instead, which used to be +1 a hit, which was actually pretty shit because Deathwing Knights and Inner Circle Companions hit on 2s anyway. So it was kind of a nonsense rule. So I thought they'd change it. Instead of hit +1 a hit, re-roll a hit roll of a 1 and re-roll a wound roll of a 1. Much better, right? Emperor's Shield used to give you a 6-up mortal wound in the enemy if you rolled a 6 to save. Now, each attack is allocated to this model. If the strength is higher than the toughness, we're seeing this coming a lot lately, subtract 1 from the wound roll. The Lion has just turned into a fucking tank. An absolute tank. So, you know, we're here for that. He's a baller now. Probably my favourite change, the Lion, to be honest with you. So there, you know. Black Knight's melee weapons lock in. They gain dev wounds. That's what they gained before. Samael's ability locks in. Death Guard, no changes, no surprise, brand new book. Death Watch, no changes, no surprise, brand new book. Drakari, some changes. The Reaper's Reaper's Wager changed. Each time a Drakari or Harlequin's model from your army makes an attack, if that model's unit is winning the wager, reroll a hit roll of a 1. If that model's unit is losing the wager, reroll a hit roll of 1 and reroll the win roll of 1 instead. I like it. It's a bit more interactive now. Maybe it might see some play. Not sure. G's to the cults, I think, all gets locked in from the previous major changes to how the cult ambush army rule works. The host of ascensions stays the same. Outlander claw stays the same, etc., etc., etc. Grey Knights, that part stayed the same, but it's each time a model of Grey Knights from your army makes a range attack that targets visible target, or makes a melee attack roll hit over 1. That unit is a Purifier squad. This is from the Grotmus detachment, if you're unaware. Excuse me. Otherwise, stays the same. Imperial Knights stay the same. Leagues of Votan, no real changes until we get down to these data sheets, and we have some changes here. Basically, the little scrittly, like, extra unit model thingies that exist don't take up any space in vehicles anymore, which is good. They shouldn't have done in the first place, but that's confirmed now, right? No changes to Necrons, no changes to Orcs until we get to Cult of Speed. This becomes quite nice now. So it used to be you can shoot if you advance. Now you can shoot and declare a charge in a turn which they advance or fell back. Makes Cult of Speed really interesting, I think, and actually maybe functions like an Orc Cult of Speed army should function. Tank busters once per battle for each bomb squig the unit has. Now it's clearing up the wording. Right, fine, cool. Space Marines. No real massive changes to the majority of Space Marines. This is all kind of locked in stuff until we get down to Marneus Calgar. Marneus Calgar now only gives you that CP if he is your warlord, which he obviously can't be if Gulliman's on the table. So if Gulliman's on the table, Marneus Calgar can't be the warlord, so he won't give you the CP. It just shuts down some of that dodgy CP, like crazy manipulation things that people were doing by taking both of them and then kind of just getting extra use on CP, right? Supreme Strategist changes to Battle Round. That's about it, if I remember rightly, for Space Marines. Cool. Okay. Stern Guard locked in, and then there we go. Space Wolves. This is weird. They've kept it all in, but I guess it's because the Codex is currently only in a limited edition box, and it isn't actually out on general sale, so this is still relevant at the moment for the old detachment if you wanted to use the old Champions of Rust detachment, which I still think is probably my favourite one, even though it's going away soon. But hey. Sad faces. And then massive changes to Tau. Tau players rejoice. Your greater good army rule nonsense complicated bollocks has kind of got a lot simpler, right? So let's read through it because it's a big change, this one. What you used to do is had to pick an observer unit, pick a unit to observe for, pick a unit you were observing. The unit then being observed for got +1 to hit against the unit that's being observed. You follow me? No? Didn't think so. However, now, if your army faction is Tau Empire, at the start of your shooting phase, you can select units, plural, from your army with this ability to become observer units. For each observer unit that is eligible to shoot, excluding fortification and battle shocked units, select one enemy unit that is visible to be marked as their spotted unit until the end of the phase. Units from your army, excluding observer units, are guided when targeting one or more spotted units. Until the end of the phase, each time a model from your army with the for the greater good ability, excluding models in observer units, makes an attack that targets a spotted unit, improve the ballistic skill characteristic of that attack by 1. And if the spotted unit was marked by an observer unit that has the marker-like keyword, that attack has the ignores cover ability. So it's not just one of your Tau units that benefits from a marker-light. If you marker-light something with a unit, or not marker-light something, if you observe something with a unit and it becomes spotted, 3 units then shoot at it, they all get the +1.
Trip Storm Surge meta.
Wow.
Eyes emoji.
You'll notice as well on that, gone is the downside that used to be if you split fire, you suffered -1 to hit. So that is quite the buff to Tau. It's simpler, it's easier, it's better. I'm hoping Paddy will show us it tomorrow. Okay. Calyon has changed. They do lose sustained hits too, but in addition, while a unit is a guided unit for the greater good, each time a ranged attack is targeted by a model in that unit, targets a spotted unit, you can ignore any or all modifiers to that attack's ballistic skill characteristic and or all modifiers to the hit roll. I quite like it. I think having sustained hits 2 on Calyon, as well as this new for the greater good army rule, would be a bit mental. So, you know, that is simplified from where it was. It's better. you can get 1 unit guiding and 1 unit being spotted, and then 3 units get +1 to hit against it. Much better than it was before. Much, much better. So I understand them calming Calyon down a little bit. But there's more, right? There is more. So Montcar has a coordinated exploitation enhancement that changes somewhere, which is here. There's 1 change here, note here, which is right? And then 3 unity devastation, there's a change here, which is this is a red there, right? And then retaliation Cadra, there's a change where it is somewhere, right? Basically, it's changing the wording ever so slightly, little tiny tweak to make sure the English is correct. So when you're targeting a guided unit, doesn't matter which one, right? Cool. Same for precise targeting from the Farsight team. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets a spotted unit, you can reroll the hit roll. Pathfinder team target upload ability. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets their spotted unit, improve the ballistic skill characteristic of attacks by 1, and that attack has the ignores cover ability. Stealth, because they're not normally, if they're the observers, obviously they don't get that, they don't get that. Stealth suits, again it says guided unit. Each time this unit is an observer unit until the end of the phase, each time a ranged attack is made by a model in a guided unit that targets their spotted unit, reroll hit rolls and wound rolls of 1. You can actually get 2, 3, 4 units now getting the benefit from stealth teams, which will make sense when you see what they've done to their points as well, right? Cool. Perfect. So a lot of people will see stealth points, stealth teams go up and go, what the fuck? And when you see the stealth battlesuit forward observer's ability, you'll see why. It does make sense. No change to Thousand Suns, new codex, no surprise. No change to Tyrannus, pretty much. I don't think there's any change to Tyrannus. No change, no surprise there until we get to Winged Hive Tyrant, Will of the Hive Mind ability. Once per battle round, 1 model from your army with ability you can use when a friendly Tyranny unit within 12 inches of the model is targeted with a stratagem if it does reduce CP cost by 1. Let's change it to once per battle round. A lot of these used to be once per turn. Again, lots of crazy CP manipulation. They change it to once per battle round. I think that's probably wise. I'm okay for it. The Psychophage now moves 12, and his Biostimulus' ability has changed quite significantly. In your shooting phase, after this model has selected 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks until the end of the turn, each time a friendly Tyranny unit makes an attack, the target's enemy unit improves the armor by 1. The same enemy unit can be effectively by blah. It's a cooler ability, it's better. And he gains the smoke keyword for stratagems, right, which is nice. He also changes to 6 attacks at AP2. So 6 attacks hit on 3, strength 6, minus 2 damage. I mean, that's not a melee profile we've not heard of before. It's decent though, right? And then this is locked in, and Worldy is no change because new codex. Bang! Done. Balanced Dataslate. Sorted. Completed it, mate. How are we feeling? I much prefer the I much prefer the Tau rule now. It's so much better. So much better. But you know. Evan, thank you for the 1 gifted. Pritters also, thank you for the 5 and Clive the Q, thank you for the 10. I'll update the membership tracker in just a second.
Uppy downy bugs sound cool as hell. Much hype, flexed biceps emoji.
Yeah, they do. They do. YouTube got stuck with all of Roland's gifteds, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's gifted some out from each of his 50, but it hasn't gifted all of them out. So hopefully it'll follow through at some point, but it means I'm having to manually count them all up now. 121, 2, 3. Okay, cool. So I'm going to have to remember what people add now, and add them as we go. Thank you so much. Hey, Mr. Chris, how are you, sir? Psychophage, that never saw the tabletop. Agree, Mikey, 100%. 100%. Yeah, Uppy Downy Lion seems friggin' scary. He is, but if you do pick Uppy Downy Lion, you then don't get reroll 1's Lion. And they're both pretty good now. You have a choice to make.
What is Lucy's take on the balanced Dataslate?
Yeah, it's alright.
Roland, behave yourself!
That poor man. I'm telling you,
someone get out there and message all the big swinging dicks. We could go for a record member stream at this rate.
Maybe put your phone next to you, Roland, so when your bank call you, you can answer in a timely manner.
I'm writing them all down you've added 20, you see, so I can add it all. So if YouTube doesn't give it out, I'm counting them anyway because you're gifting them. Just there is a possibility that the second lot of 50 didn't come through at all, and they might refund you. So keep an eye on it. Because hang on, 15. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube's being weird.
I always see, you know, you can thumbs up a comment.
Yeah.
It constantly flickers.
Yeah, YouTube's being really weird lately.
Can't decide. I need to think of a second hope for Roland Bain.
But what do you think of the balanced Dataslate anyway?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
I don't need to milk it. It's good.
If we think about it, right, the Lions saw some pretty significant changes. A couple of Chaos characters that saw no real play saw some significant changes. Tau saw a pretty significant change. Otherwise, it's mostly things here and there. Little like bits and bobs. And so I think actually if we're being serious and we're being honest, it is evidence that the game's in a pretty good state on the whole. And I said this yesterday and I stand by it. I'm at a point right now, which I didn't think I'd ever say, especially at the start of this edition, where I think I'm having the most fun I've ever had with 40k.
I've got a hope for Roland Bain.
Oh, okay.
I hope for you, Roland Bain, the next time you're driving on a country lane and taking in the scenery and it's a totally deserted road, you don't turn a corner and find yourself stuck behind a tractor.
Fair. I don't mind being stuck behind tractors.
We love
nowadays.
our farmers.
We do.
But not when you're already running late.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Warhagen 40k, for the 5 gifted memberships. You're a legend. I need to update that now as well. Oh. Right. From the next point I change the screen, I need you to start counting gifted so that I can add the right number on, okay?
What, me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've got them written down.
Yeah, but from now, I'm about to share screen again. And I don't update memberships when I'm sharing screen. So, just, you know, if you could go, right, since you shared screen, there's been another 17 members.
Oh, I see.
I can add it onto the number on the screen, right? I can add it onto the 148 that's on the screen right now. Cool, right. So, the other thing they do to balance the game is, we know they change the rules, right? And that's what the balanced data state is. A couple of tweaks here and there, a couple of big changes here and there, mostly just little tweaks. I'm all for that. I'm happy about it. That's fine, right? We're good. What they also do alongside that is they go, actually, we don't want to change the points, the rules for certain units. What we want to do instead is change points. And so they've come in, they've changed some points, okay?
Thoughts on the agent's changes?
I don't think
Was it enough?
I don't think they could give us agents for free, Jacob, and they'll be probably worth it. I'm not sure. I don't. So, Adeptus Sororitas, just after Paddy gets 2,000 points of Sisters of Battle ready, they go, cool, have loads of points drops across the board. What's interesting when you look at this, Paddy took a Castigator, that's gone down by 10 points. Paddy took Paragon Warsuits, they've gone down by 10 points. Paddy took Squads of 10 Repentia, they've gone down by 10 points. Paddy took Retributors, they've gone down by 10 points. Paddy took, did he take Seraphim or Zephyrim? The Seraphim have gone down by 5 points. You know, there's lots of changes here.
This is silly, but in Cowan with coordinate to engage, Pathfinders can end up with +2 BS, with heavy then allowing them to hit on 2s with rail and iron.
Correct, yes, because as it stands, there is no cap on buffing ballistic skill. There's only a cap on buffing a dice roll. So thank you, Reckless, for the €6. What a legend. But yeah, that's true. There's some other changes. Triumph of Sir Catherine's gone down. One of my favourite models in the whole of 40k. The Triumph of Sir Catherine. The Triumph of Sir Catherine is a model on a base that big, which is basically 6 nuns carrying a coffin. It's fucking great. What a 40k model that is. Carry a coffin into battle.
What? Okay. What's the point?
It makes the sisters around her fight on because they see the coffin of their dead saint and they are invigorated in battle.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do the nuns also have... No, that's the Slanesh, isn't it? That has the 7 boobs.
Yes. Yeah.
The nuns look
they
like
might.
nuns.
They might do.
Oh, okay.
You never know.
All right.
Depends how much toxic waste they've been around. Immolator's also got cheaper. Judith got cheaper. Otherwise, nothing got more expensive for sisters. No real surprise. They've kind of struggled a little bit. Allurus Custodians all went down. I'm a little surprised. Not hugely surprised, but a little surprised. I think 60 points of Custodian is probably Allurus Custodian is probably a reasonable place for them to be now. I can't see them going down much more. No more other points changes. Mechanicus also saw points drops. Ballistari dropped. Sidonian Dragoons dropped. The Scorpius Disintegrator dropped, and there was a single enhancement drop. So mostly things getting cheaper again. Benefit of things getting cheaper is you have to buy more models. Well done, Games Workshop. Aldari, however, we start to see some red for the first time. So a single Autarch went up. Not hugely surprised. A 5-man Fire Dragon unit went up to 120 by 10. Not surprised. Howling Banshees went up 5 and 10. I was a little surprised, but then I kind of wasn't, and I was, and I wasn't, and I was kind of, So I think that's probably about right, to be fair. 3 Shining Spears went down in points, which is tasty. Down to 110 points for 3 and 220 for 6. I like them anyway. Now I like them a little bit more. War Walkers, individual War Walkers went down by 10 points to 85. I think the 2 ones did go down. And then we've got Warlock Conclave of 4. They went up by 20 points. If you're taking 2, you get 55 points, and it used to be 110 for 4. Now it's 130. With what they could do with their silly flamers, I've used it a lot. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. They all make sense. So I actually, as an Eldar player, don't have any problems with any of these points changes. I'll be honest with you. Oh, Fire Prisms got cheaper. Down to... I still don't think that's enough, by the way, if I'm honest. Then we saw the Ynnari stuff all go up. I say all go up. The Incarn, the Archon, and the Incubi went up. I can't suggest I'm particularly shocked by that one, right? Codex Astra Militarum. Borgrin's down. A 20-man Deathcore Krieg unit went up. I don't know how I feel about it. Are they that much of a problem? Death Riders went down, which is good, because they should. A standard battle tank went up 10 points. That kind of makes sense to me. Toraxes went up by 10. Ursula Krieg went up by 20. Tempestus Aquilans came down. They're all reasonable. I think most of those changes are kind of reasonable, right? Most of those don't sort of really cause me any issues. The one that causes me an issue, chat, is that Lord Marshal Dreer is still 100 points. And Lord Solar Leonatus is 150. Now, this is not so much of an issue because of what he can order and the fact that he can now order Titanic. But Lord Marshal Dreer being 100 is still criminally expensive. Criminally expensive in my eyes. It's mad. It's mad that he's at 100 points. Templars saw the things you'd like to take get cheaper. High Marshal Helbrecht down 10. Grimald down 10. Sword Brethren down. And Primaris Crusaders down. Love to see it. Space Marines becoming more and more of a horde army. Blood Angels, similar treatment. Astrath down. Bile Predators down. Dante and Mephiston down. Death Company Dreadnought, which is actually just a Brutalis, down. Death Company Marines and Jump Packs down. Lamarty's down. Sangard down. That surprised me. Remembering now that 3 Sangard are the same price at 110 points as 3 Flawless Blades. Tell me how that's fair. They get a better detachment. They get better detachment rules. They fly. I struggle to see it, chat. I'm going to be honest. I struggle to see it. Sangha Priest also down. But he's pretty pap now. He's on foot, really, to be fair. So, you know. Demons see Nurglings have another points hike. Cool. Blood Legion had the Slaughter Thirst go up a bit. And they had the Shadow Legion points come up a bit. So, yeah, cool. That's fine. No one cares. Chaos Knights. We are seeing a Codex soon. No changes to those. We'll probably see the changes to those come out in line with Codex. Chaos Space Marines saw the Lordwood Jump Pack get cheaper. Dark Apostle get cheaper. The Felgor Beastman get cheaper. The Traitor Enforcer get cheaper. Master Possession get cheaper. I thought we might see a couple more points changes, but this is one of those things, right? Vashtor, the Archifane, is 175 points right now. I think you can't make him any cheaper. A Lord Discordant is 160 points. You maybe could have made him slightly cheaper. I like the fact they attacked the rules for that one instead of just the points. They've dropped them in points before. It hasn't really worked. So now they've gone down the route of changing rules. And I think that's a positive overall, right? Dark Angels, no changes. I'm not hugely surprised, I don't think. Inner Circle Companions remain 90 points. So still 10 points more than Blade Guard. But I still think they're decent, so I'm not massively complaining. Death Guard saw the same change to Nurglings. Deathwatch, no changes at all for the index. Drakari saw Rages, Ravagers, Venoms, all their transports and vehicles get cheaper, and Mandrakes. And Mandrakes have got sexy models, remember, so that's cool. Emperor's Children. This, by the way, so far, up until this point, whole balanced data slate and 20 pages of rules of points changes, and I'm kind of okay with it all, with the exception of Lord Marshal Dreer still being 100 points. This is where they fucked up, in my eyes. Do I have a problem with a Demon Prince with wings going up in points? No, not massively. Lucius, not hugely. Noise Marines, not hugely. I think looking at the points in which they've changed, for the most part, I think that's probably quite reasonable. Fulgrim dropping 20, probably quite reasonable. But what they've done is they've taken the good build, the only good build that Emperor's Children have, the only good build that they have, and they just made it completely, like, a lot more expensive. And they haven't done anything else to encourage you to take any other units apart from we're just going to make these ones more expensive. I don't think that's great. I mean, I think you could bring a couple of points tweaks in here and there to make some things more, like, I think Flawless Blades being 110 points at the same time that 3 Sangard at 110 points is criminal, if I'm honest. Interesting. I don't think that's great, that one. Jackals went cheaper for GT Colts, only change. Grey Knight saw the Champion, the Brotherhood Terminator squad in 10-man units, the Paladin squads and 10-man units get cheaper. I think that's fair. I think that's okay. They're now, interestingly, with the points changes, directly double what they were for 5-man models, 5-man units, so that's fine. Imperial Agents, no changes. Cool. No one plays Imperial Agents, really. Imperial Knights, well, Chaos Knights are coming, so I can't imagine they're too far away. Probably why there's no points changes. Leagues of Votan, 0 changes. Necrons. 1 singular destroyer went up to 40 points on his own. Yeah, cool. 1 Scorpec Lord went up to 10 points. The Technomancer, Cesares, Deathmarks, and the Doomstalker and Wraiths all went down. The Wraiths one sort of surprises me, if I'm honest. But it's only 5 points, so But it sort of surprises me a little bit. Again, 3 Wraiths at 110 points, I would argue is a lot better value than 3 Flawless Blades at 110 points, in my personal opinion. So I don't think they'll be too upset. Orcs is an odd one. Basically, all the weird little truck things got cheaper. The Boom, some great names for you here, Luce, for 40k. Right? Some great names here for the Orc vehicles. The Boom Dakar Snazwagon.
I think I've heard that one.
The Megatrack Scrapjet. The Custom Booster Blaster. The Shock Jump Jagster. And the Rocket Truck Squig Buggy.
Yeah.
They all went down in points, chat. All of them. Right? All by 5 points. Looters went up for the big unit. Fine. Big Mac Shock Attack going went up. Not a surprise. 20-man boys units. I was slightly surprised at, if I'm honest. Flash gets 10-man unit. Not surprised at. Tank Busters. Not surprised at. Truck. Not surprised. And then Zogrod Wartsnogger. He come up as well. Zogrod Wartsnogger. Great name.
Say that again?
Zogrod Wartsnogger. Zogrod.
Rod.
Zodgrod.
Wait.
Zodgrod. Wartsnagger.
Wartsnagger.
Yeah.
Zodgrod Wartsnagger.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a Roald Dahl book.
Yeah. He went up as well by 10. Was he that much of a problem? I'm not sure he was. Chaos Space Marines. Sorry, Codex Space Marines. 3-man aggressors got cheaper. As did 6-man aggressors. The Captain got cheaper with Jump Pack. Heavy Intercessors got cheaper. They got the rules buff last time as well. They're quite good now. Hellblasters got cheaper. Calgar did go down now that he has to be a Warlord, but only does 10 points. He's still 200 points for Calgar and his Victrix Guard. I still think that's reasonable value, though. I don't think that's too bad, even though he only gets the benefit if he's your Warlord. I wasn't thinking about running Gullyman anyway, so that wouldn't be a problem for me. Gullyman, however, did get cheaper because that combination has gone down, so he's lost 25 points as well, down to 320, just to really piss off people that played with Fulgrim. And Vanguard Vets went down as well. There we go. Space Wolves, Index Space Wolves, no changes because Codex Space Wolves. Spoiler chat, last week we were using these Codex points, so I was already aware of them. I just couldn't really tell you about them. Bjorn down to 170 is great. 10 Grey Hunters at 180 is incredible value, I think, personally. Head Takers down in the units without the Wolves, so 6 for 170 is incredible value, in my opinion. Same as Wolfguard Terminator is getting cheaper. 170 for 5 of those, I think, is incredible value. I would not be surprised to see them go back up again. I think they're ridiculously cheap for that. Wolfen went up a little bit, and so did Wolfen with Storm Shields. Not hugely surprised, but I was running them at 100 points. I think they're actually quite reasonable. And then the Thunderbolt's Fortitude is the only enhancement that went up as well. Don't worry, I'm nearly done. I am nearly done. I can see you glazing over there. I can't see how this has ever been a problem, but they went up by 10 points. Stealth suits have gone up by 20, which seems extreme, but when you realise what happened to for the greater good rule, and therefore what happened to their ability, you'll realise why. I think that's reasonable. And then 2 enhancements got expensive. I don't know what these do, but I think it's probably likely to do with the fact that the army rules changed and how that then interacts. Thousand Suns, no changes, new codex. Tyranids, the Psychophage went up by 15. Screamer Killer down, make Joe happy. Hive Tyrant down 30 to make Joe happy. Tyrant Guard down across the board to make Joe happy. Winged Hive Tyrant down 30 to make him happy. And the Swarlord down 20 to make him happy. So Joe saved a significant number of points on his Tyranid list there, just to prove that what he actually does frequently is play with all the shit stuff and then complains that he loses. World Eaters, no changes. How many members did we get since then?
None.
Oh. I'll be grateful. I'll be grateful. R.I.P. Creek Spam. Was Creek Spam a thing, though, says Strumming Fish, to be fair? Anyway, there you go. Balanced Dataslate and full points nipped within about half an hour. Over to you and postcards. Your thoughts. Chat. It's your turn. What do you think of all the points changes in the Moves on Field menu?
Yeah, it's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mostly. Mostly they're good.
Yeah.
20-man creep with Flesh Shaper and Hunting Pack makes them pretty tough to get through, so it might be the reason for the increase. Maybe. I think if it's like this might be the reason for the increase, then you're kind of going, that's quite extreme then, at 20 points for 20. I don't know. Oh my lord. I love mead. What's that smile for? What's that grin for?
I'm really looking forward to my bubble.
Thank you so much, Mr. the Hardborn. How are you, sir, for the 5 gifted memberships? Joe's very excited about his swirly dirly. Banging.
Ba 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 bum bum ba bum. The UK's first underwater rugby club is looking for new players.
Sounds like bullshit.
It's a real thing, and it's a mixed team. It's girls and boys. Because it's not about strength. It's about tactics and being under the water.
It sounds shit. As a rugby player, it sounds shit.
Just because you don't like water.
It's got nothing to do with that.
Fulgrim needs to go down again. Flawless Blades 2.
Agree. It's got nothing to do with that. Rugby is about speed and power and precision.
Yeah?
You can't have speed, power, and precision underwater.
Yeah, but it's not.
How'd you pass the ball?
Your face.
How'd you pass the ball?
Well, the ball is slightly smaller than a football, so it's not like.
But you still can't pass it through
oval.
water. That's nonsense.
It's meant to be fun.
It's
you Grinch.
nonsense. Lisby, thank you for 5 gifted. Come on, chat. 200? Do we say 200 tonight? Do we dare to dream, Luce?
No.
Oh. She's
No,
so
you
pessimistic.
shit on my bonfire. I'm going to shit on yours.
It's not your bonfire. You didn't invent underwater
I thought
rugby.
it sounded really cool.
It sounds fucking shit.
Just because
What's
you
the
don't like
facts?
water.
It's got nothing to do with me not liking water. Sounds shit. What's the fact? What's the detail?
It's the first UK underwater rugby
I'm
team.
probably the last.
And, well, interestingly, there's teams like this all over Northern Europe. So we're kind of behind the curve. It sounded really out there, but actually, there's loads of teams in other places of the world. Underwater rugby. If you're near to Guildford and you fancy a go, get in touch with Nick Harvey.
I'm not getting in water near Guildford. Underwater rugby sounds fucking dreadful.
I would be slightly nervous of a nip slip because rugby is full contact, so I'd want to go in a
But here's the fun
scuba
thing.
suit.
It's not underwater, is it? Because you
I'd
can't run
be
into each other.
in my scuba suit so that no unnecessary body parts are revealed.
It's nonsensical, that. Absolutely
So-
nonsensical.
Pretty sure I saw a pube on the on the video of it.
Absolutely nonsensical.
But hey, we're all grown-ups here. It's just anatomy. I think it sounds cool.
This world, honestly. Why? Who invents that? fucking tragic.
It actually sounds really good rehab for ex-rugby players that still want to play the sport, but they obviously can't because of buggered up knees or shoulders or...
Yeah.
And being in a pool is the best exercise.
So give them a scuba tank and an oxygen.
No, there's no breathing apparatus. You've got to hold your breath.
Emperor's Lion says, I don't like water polo because my horse doesn't like to swim.
Nip slip, you say?
Are these matchups broadcast? You fucking grim bastards. So what's the members' gifting target to get to Liam to do underwater rugby? You can't. It's not going to happen, ever.
Well, there's like it looked like a small waste paper bin basket upside down. And then the goalkeeper has to use his flippers to keep his back on the bin. And then
like a stranded turtle.
And then someone has to lie in front of the basket so that your tiny ball... and I don't know if you're allowed to push him off because it's full contact.
Is it cold water?
It's just a swimming pool.
The balls would be tiny.
I don't know if you're allowed to push the goalkeeper off. I assume so. And then you just put the ball in the waste paper bin basket. It looks really fun.
No. Enough of that nonsense. Is there anything in it? I don't understand what I've just listened to. Is there anything that you think should have been addressed in the balance Dataslate that hasn't? Anything that has been addressed that you thought was fine anyway? Any points changes you would have liked to see that you didn't, apart from what Star already said? And I agree with you, Star, by the way. I do agree with you for reference. Let's get back on topic. We're currently on an insane number of members for this far into the show. Thank you so much. But we are only on £30 super chats. Go. Normal. Tay are normal again. Excited to play them again. Who are? Oh, Tao. Yeah, Tao are a huge winner this balance Dataslate. Probably the biggest winner, I reckon. Leave it loose. It sounds crap. Yeah, thanks, Paul. Yeah. Why is there a basket anyway?
I guess because the ball has to go somewhere to prove a goal.
Over the try line. That's what rugby is.
Maybe they're not allowed a try line or
Well, it's not rugby then, is it?
I don't know. I don't play rugby. It just looked like fun.
You don't have a goalkeeper in rugby either.
It's slightly reminiscent of when me and the boys go swimming. That's probably why I have an affection for it.
But you don't have a goalkeeper when you play rugby.
Well...
So rugby, right, you have a try line. You have H-shaped posts for your conversion kicks. I bet they're not happening, right? You don't have a goalkeeper. You have 15 players, one of which might be a fullback. My camera's just fucking shit itself. One of them's a fullback. You have a goalkeeper. You have a goalkeeper in football. You have a basket in basketball. This sounds a lot less like rugby every time you talk about something.
I guess they're not allowed the try line situation because then it would look too much like volleyball.
It's like underwater generic sport is what they've done.
Probably.
This sounds more like underwater netball. Sounds more like underwater nonsense.
Trip Storm Surge, Trip Breacher Blade, Trip Stealth Team, Shadowson, will it be good? Unlikely. Will it be fun? Hell yes.
Trip Storm Surge, I'm all about that, Life Predators. I'm here for it. And it's a little bit more functional now because it doesn't get just significantly shitter when it wants to split fire all its guns that are literally designed to do different things. That rule just never made sense with that model, right? Nonsense. You've thrown me off here. You've made me angry about a sport I didn't know existed. Sullying the good name of rugby.
I was very nervous because nobody's wearing swim shorts. They're all wearing like Speedos.
Oh.
And I suppose swim shorts, if you accidentally grab that, then all hell could break loose. So I guess the tighter the better. There's nothing to grab.
The tighter the better.
But I was watching it thinking, I'm waiting for a slip of some kind to happen.
Escapade.
I would just say it has to be a scuba suit.
Escapade says, I love generic underwater water sport ball and nip slip game.
I'm very, very happy with War Walker's reduction.
I guess. I don't think they see a ton of play, and I still didn't think they were bad anyway. I thought they were okay. We just don't really have any painted. Do we have any? I don't think we have any painted yet. What I've got to do is I've got to tell Joe that he can play Eldar for a while, and suddenly then loads of stuff will get painted. Then I'll take them back off of him again. Well, the DA rock detachment, the strats are peak, +2 strength on range, advanced shoot and charge, 6-inch deathwing, reactive charge. Oh, mate. That Dark Angels detachment is mad good, I think. Again, we'll talk about it at length tomorrow with Joe, but I think it's mad good. I'm really impressed by it. Triple Disco Lords and Knights could be interesting. I think Disco Lords have got some play now. They suffer from a problem, though. They are mounted. They're not vehicles. Which, okay, so they don't get impacted by anti-vehicle stuff, but they also don't get vehicle-based benefits. I don't know. I think they're much better. I think they've got a lot more play. But, you know, anyone know if incursion-sized armies have always had rule of 2 instead of rule of 3? I think so. Tyranid warriors need to be harder hitting than just to pack a punch. Facts. The humble warrior is the detachment didn't even save it, did it? Let's be honest. They're a bit shit. To be fair, to be sure. What else would you change?
Nothing. I think it's all good.
No. If you had to change one thing, what would it be?
All the cool orc transport. I wouldn't take the points down. Kept them.
I think that was English. The points went up on the cool orc transport, or the truck, or the battle wagon.
All of them. When you went through all of them, and you said
they're
all
not
the points
transports. Okay, all right, okay. They're not transports. They're just fancy buggies that do weird things. The Rucker Truck Squig buggy and the Mega Truck Scrapjet and the
They sound like transport.
No, they're not transports.
What do they do then?
Would like more than points change for guard.
In what way, Roland? Cheaper? I feel like often nowadays, Space Marine players could deploy as many models as Guard players, and that's mental, right? Yeah, they're all just trucks loose that shoot guns and drive into things. They don't transport people. I mean, they transport the driver and the passenger, but they don't, like, you can't, like, get your people out.
Oh, so not like a Lehman Russ where there's like 6 Space Marines in. Have I got the right one? No? All the tanks that you say, these have got 6 Space Marines in, but actually nothing's in there.
Oh, that humble Lehman Russ.
Did I get the wrong one?
No. No, you're fine. You're good. I wish they gave agents a real army rule like orbital bombardment or something. Preach. Fuck, I'm hanging out my arse today.
Yeah, I can tell.
I don't know why. What do you mean you can tell? How dare you?
Well, your energy's really low over there.
I'm suffering a bit. I don't know why. Squirrel dude, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Does that help? Is that better?
No, we don't want the shouting. We don't like the shout.
Thank you, Squirrel dude, for 5 gifted memberships.
The world already has one Brian Blessed. We don't need 2.
I think we do. You're a hero, man. Thank you so much. Oh, I can check with this little weird tracker what it did with Roland's gifteds, couldn't I? Yeah, my energy. I don't mean for my. I want my energy to be up, chat. I want to be. I'm so happy and excited about 40k right now. I want to be up, but it's just not.
Did you not sleep very well last night?
No, I don't think I did. I don't know why.
I haven't been sleeping well, and I think it's the weather. I think it's all in the atmospherics.
I think it's because you smell like a weird plastic.
I'm blaming on the atmospherics. Does anyone else get this? If you wake up and it's raining, do you ever wake up with a headache? But if you wake up before it starts raining, you're fine. Does anybody else ever get those headaches? Years of research has gone into this. Every time it's rained and I've got a headache, I've made a note of it.
I've heard that Warhips went to a tournament with a full company of Space Marines. Sort of a tournament. It was the Tabletop Tactics one. So it's not like Triad Tournament ITC rules, but it is an event. And he did take a full company, and he is my hero for doing that. So we're discussing leaks today for Saints, of course.
Nids need tank shock and grenades. Please GW, folded hands emoji.
I think the thing is with tank shock, I think it doesn't make sense to me that it can't be done by a Carnifex, but it can be done by a Lehman Russ.
Sean, weren't you already a Thane?
No, he was an Acer. Surprised no Death Guard increase for points. Rules are fine as they're new, but Demon Engines and Princes could have gone up. They'll suggest they don't have enough data, Glenn, I think.
Insane in the I need to do my horn.
Well, he's not a new Thane, is he?
But he's a Thane. Auga!
Jorvin says, why does loose smell like a weird plastic?
Because
I shouldn't come up with daft list ideas. I've made that trip list in TTS and now I see it. I want to run it. FML. Man face palming emoji.
Do it,
man
Britters.
face palming emoji.
Do it, Britters. Do it. I believe in you. I believe in a thing called love.
just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
So why do you smell like a weird plastic, Luce? Should we tell the people at home?
Because I got one of those grounding mat things because every fucking time I go to the doctor and I say, I don't feel very well, they say, okay, we can test you in 2 weeks. Then I go back in 2 weeks and it's all gone and my results come back as fine. And then I'll call the doctor back and I'll say, now, right now, I don't feel very well right now. Can I come in right now and just stick a monitor on me, take a blood test from me right now? No, but we can fit you in next month. And then I go in next month and all the bloods come back as normal. So now the doctors can't do anything because nothing's showing up on the system. So I'm now trying the grounding mat.
I think they just all think you're head mental now.
I'm genuinely concerned that that's going to go on my medical records now.
I don't think they can, though. I don't think they can do that.
And the trouble is, when I don't feel very well, it's so... They're symptoms that I know. The first thing they're going to ask me is there a chance you're pregnant? And it just becomes insulting after a while. And then it's, is there a chance you're diabetic? No, you've tested me for that. You can test again, though. Is there a chance you need a heart monitor? Well, I'll wear the heart monitor. Can I have that? It's not available until 2 months. And anything that they say, could it be this? It could be. Test me for it because nothing is making sense anymore. Either the equipment, there's a waiting list for it, or I'm not fitting the criteria to be tested for something.
You've got a lot more patience than me, I'll be honest.
So,
I would just be like, right, fuck you, sleep, diet, exercise, fresh air.
But the trouble is, if I was to throw myself into exercise, like when I was 18 and full of energy, I would trigger a flare-up, and then I can't do a damn thing. I can't even care for the boys.
So you'd probably have to ease into it, not throw yourself into it, to be fair.
Yeah. But then the easing, where is the cut-off of my mind going, well, I used to be able to do this, so I should be able to ease into that. And then the body going, no, that's too much.
Yeah, the body will tell you pretty quickly, I reckon. At our age, I reckon the body... I was in Morrison's today, and I was looking at the bottom shelf in the refrigerator section, so I squatted down. So I'm on my tiptoes, basically, but I'm fully squatted down, right? Just looking at these packages and reading things in Morrison's. So it's like full squat position.
Yeah.
And some old lady, she tapped me on the shoulder, and I looked and she said, oh, I wish I could still do that. When she was like, it was too much information straight away. I don't need to know. Anyway, she was like, if I did that, my knees would give out. And I daredn't say to her, I haven't tried getting up yet.
Yeah.
I might be stuck here for an hour. I might have to just roll gently backwards and then onto my front and then get up. That might be how I have to get back up.
Yeah. So now I'm trying to do things holistically at home. So the next time I have a flare up and I can say, test me now, test me right now. And they say, have you tried this? And I can say, yes, I have actually.
Yeah.
So fuck that one off. I've tried it.
And this is what I talk about with the NHS, right? I have mad love and respect for anyone that works in the NHS. And if you step outside and you're involved in a horrible accident in the NHS, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world. They're fucking incredible. But when you have an issue that takes a lot of time, energy, and money to try and figure out what that is, they can then be, unfortunately, pretty terrible because they've got not enough time, not enough resources, overworked, underpaid, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So when you go, I've got an appointment so I can talk through all these problems I have, they go, you've got 10 minutes, go.
And then you
can't.
definitely do look like a crazy person because you've got, it was since I had COVID that I've not been quite right. So now going on 3 years worth of medical history to get through to the doctor with still time to spare to talk about a plan. And then when I did do the heart monitor and my blood test results, I called back to the doctor because I hadn't heard anything. And I didn't even get through to a doctor. Just the receptionist said, you're all fine, so we're going to close the case.
Yeah,
well,
thanks. I'm glad you're so qualified.
Can I talk to my doctor? No, we only talk to the doctor if there's discrepancies. But I'm not fine.
But there is a discrepancy. The discrepancy is it shows fine and I still feel shit.
I know.
That's a discrepancy.
And then it's are you sure you couldn't be pregnant? No, I'm not pregnant.
You motherfuckers!
And then it comes in, so, well, you are mid-30s. Right, so why don't any of the other mid-30-year-olds feel this shit for no reason?
To be fair, I dread to think the amount of things I put down to the fact that I'm now 38. Like, my ankle makes a clicking noise when I walk up the stairs.
No, it's always
I
done
also
that.
now make a noise when I get out of bed or off the sofa. Like that all the time.
So that's very normal. That would be, right, I need to do something about this because I'm now groaning as I get out of the sofa. But when it's the weirdest dizziness / vertigo that is inexplicable, phantom smells, pain patches on my body that move around my body, so it feels like peripheral neuropathy, but that's only associated with diabetes.
We need to genuinely have a look at what the kind of cost burden would be for a private MOT, maybe, and decide whether the amount of problems you are having, see what the value is and go, that's actually worthwhile.
Genuinely, there's been times I've nearly fallen down the stairs because of the weird
I just
vertigo. The weird vertigo. Depth perception goes as well.
Yeah.
That's helpful, walking down the stairs. No, stop it, Roland.
Lose fund.
Well, now we've hit all the targets. Now we can go. Now we can finish. We can't. We've got 4 likes to go. Wait till you get to 40. I'm 38. 38 is the new 40, Neil. When I was off with back pain, the first and only thing they did was, here's a physio appointment in 4 weeks. I woke up with a sharp pain in my spine that lasted the entire day. No meds until. I said I needed the help immediately. Yeah, they're mad, aren't they? It's, wow.
And when you get into the doctors, it's not their fault, but you've got nowhere else to put your anger. And I really do sympathise with the doctors that their hands are tied as well. If nothing's coming up on the results, they can't prescribe me anything. They can't send me anywhere because nothing is showing up.
I don't mind too much diverting my anger to the receptionist because they're normally jumped up fucking idiots. Anyway, Roland, by the way, Jesus fucking Christ.
Stop it.
Thank you so much for $100, a big red one. Just 4 more of those, chat, and I'll smile. 4 more red ones.
Have you been tested for POTS, Luce? Oh, the autoimmune clinician appointments are fun. They are so fun.
What's POTS?
POTS is, my friend's got POTS, and it's a heart thing, I think, and it's where your blood pools in parts of your body, and it makes you dizzy. And
what's weird is, and I'm sure you don't mind me saying this, but for the most part, you're still pretty fucking active.
And this is the problem.
And we eat well. And when I say we eat well, I don't mean we engorge on 27 burgers a night. I mean we eat meat, veg, fruit. We eat reasonable amounts of everything. We eat homemade everything. We eat really well. And interestingly, since we've been eating really well, your issues have got better. They have, haven't they, overall?
Yeah, and this, so I'm aware I sound really out there now, chat. But when you get turned away from the doctors, it's inevitable you're going to start doing your own research and cross-referencing. And illnesses like fibromyalgia have been proven to have a very strong link to past trauma. So I have not been diagnosed with fibro, but I have found in my research that lots and lots of people who have taken therapy and really worked hard on it have seen massive improvements in their symptoms. And you're never going to cure an autoimmune, but you can live well alongside
the words you use is essentially put it into remission, isn't it?
Yeah, it's your symptoms that you put into remission, not the condition.
Get Lost says, I paid 400 quid for a Wellman check a couple of years ago. I don't know what that is, but I assume it's like a private MOT.
Yeah.
Best 400 quid I ever spent. Might be worth looking into.
Sorry, Jess, to answer you, I had my autoimmune appointment. I've had 2 of them now, and both times I've walked in there, I've done the nurse's workup, height, weight, cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. And they literally say to me, you're not ill enough that we can do anything yet. So
exactly.
I am perfectly sitting on the wrong side of the acceptable margins. And that's like, when they say, we'll see you in a year. So you want me to get worse before anyone can do anything.
Nobody said, internet research. It's cancer then.
Oh, obviously I'm dying tomorrow.
Of course.
Obviously.
This is why I'm here, nobody, as the voice of reason. To when Luce goes, I've got this tropical tumour. I'm like, you haven't.
Yeah,
you haven't. Yeah, I'll be honest, you haven't.
Have a prolapsed disc in my lower back. The waiting to see the spinal clinic is 42 week.
Oh
They've
my
stuck me on very strong painkillers till then. Thumbs up emoji.
Wow.
Fucking hell. 42 weeks. Hopefully, Snakey, it's bearable at least for those 42 weeks. New balance Dataslate, but doesn't touch Death Guard, the faction that'll cure the most issues. Balance, this thing should be fucking 40k team. The thing is, they were never going to touch Death Guard. They were never going to touch Death Guard 1,000 Tons Wild Eaters because they haven't been out long enough. They won't have enough data. Despite the fact that we can all look at it and go, they could be a problem. They were never actually going to change it. That was just not going to happen. This close to a codex release. I would expect to see some changes for them in the future, though. Predominantly, honestly, having played Death Guard, predominantly probably points as well, to be honest with you. You know, if you're the voice of reason, Liam, it must be bad. I can have a pretty logical switched on head on my shoulders, everybody. I often play the idiot for you people.
Yeah. Well, when I had my ENT specialist, he put a camera up my nose. No one had told me what this appointment was about, but he put a camera up my nose and then he was like, no, I can't see a tumour. What the fuck? You were looking for a tumour? Well, you haven't got one.
Yeah.
What?
Get Lost says it was a private GP, basically an MOT, full bloods, ECG, loads and loads of tests, was well over an hour, listened to all my symptoms. All we need is 3 more red ones, chat.
I've been to see a specialist to help with food and weight/gut issues. I need to eat more fiber. A man my size needs 40 grams a day. That's fucking 18 bananas. I out sweetheart, he'll just struggle to poo.
I wouldn't fuck 18 bananas, I just eat them. They don't go in that way, Dave.
So I got back in the car after having a camera up my nose. And Liam was like, you look okay. And I said, they were looking for a tumour. And then me and Liam spent 10 minutes in the car rationalising why it wasn't a tumour anyway. Because I wasn't slurring. I didn't have double vision. There were no personality changes. My fine and major motor skills were fine. But just to be told, oh, you don't... And I think sometimes these doctors forget you're not a doctor.
If, by the way, you are in the medical profession, in the NHS, I don't want you to think we're attacking you because you people are all fucking heroes. Like I say, it's an issue of time, resources.
I think doctors would love to have maybe like, I don't know, 30 patients on their books and that's it. And they can actually get to know everyone on their
I've
books.
never experienced it, so I can't miss it. But I wish we still had like...
a family doctor.
Family doctors, community doctors. You know, but...
Imagine having a doctor that's seen you from a child to say, yeah, actually this isn't normal.
Yeah. Does a yearly MOT. The army was good for that. You used to get yearly MOTs, yearly checkups.
Yeah.
Good for that, to be fair. Check up on your fitness and your health, your general health. Check your weight, check everything. Have a good look over you, feel you for lumps. Cup you with his warm hand. Lovely.
Yeah, I think that bit I'd struggle with.
No, it was great.
Yeah.
I used to walk in there with no trousers on. Get them hands out, Doc. It was a lot of money for sure, but I would honestly say it was the best spend. Results back in 2 days.
Oh, wow. If you're comfortable, you'll have to let us know how it goes.
But this is why, we just need 3 more red ones.
No.
Not from you, though, Roland. You've been silly. Silly. I appreciate it, but you have been silly.
And I think this has been going on for like 3 years now.
Has it been that long?
It was when you were in Canada that I got COVID, and since then I have not been.
When did I go to Canada?
I think it was 2022.
Let me find out. Because if I go to my pictures, I have pictures from Go Canada. 2022, you reckon, yeah?
I think so.
Not too far. We've been around that time. That's California, October.
I also need to wait till November to find out if I've got cancer or Crohn's. Guess I'll just die then. Going private now, I think.
Oh my God, Dave, thank you for the 15. But yeah, I hope you're doing all right, mate. I was in Canada in mid-May 2022. You're correct. It was 2022.
Yeah. And stop it.
2.
Roland!
Naughty.
Put the fucking bottle down.
Get out the sun.
I've got more shows to do this week. I've got targets to hit every night. Roland. You fucking mad lad.
From having COVID, the first set of symptoms that I noticed was the irregular heart rhythms and the shaking. I couldn't hold a cup of tea because I'd be shaking so much, and I'd be sitting on the sofa, and I can only describe it as this weird floating feeling while I'm sitting on the sofa. I could feel my heart rate going. I was starting to shake.
Yeah.
Weird. And then the cigarette smell started.
That was all after that. That was all after specifically that COVID bout, though, wasn't it? Or that suspected COVID bout, because we didn't actually test, to be fair.
No.
My phone's doing weird shit and it's frozen.
Yeah.
Why is my phone being weird, Luce? Can you explain it to me, please?
No. Nope.
Okay, I think I fixed it. I think it's now working.
Warhagen. Roland, what do you do for work, and are you hiring?
I mean, he's done all right tonight, Roland, with 140 memberships and $300 in super chats.
Naughty. So that's why I smell like plastic, because I was on my grounding mat.
It wasn't the nicest smell.
Yeah, that'll go though.
Yeah, it's just because it's new. Out of packet from a factory in China.
But I'm slowly turning into the person that walks into the doctors and going, don't even suggest this because I've already tried it a year ago, it didn't work. Don't even suggest that. I'm here for the proper drugs. I need access to proper shit now.
The hardcore stuff.
Stuff. Give me the stuff, doctor.
Oh my God. It was 3 years back during New Year's Eve. Doubled over in pain, found the lump in the gents area. NHS couldn't see me for a month. Saw the private GP on the 2nd of January. Results back by the 4th of January. Wasn't cancer. I think, considering what you've said then, that £400, I'm like, yeah, I'm spending it. Fuck it. I want to know now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Roland really changed after finding that credit card on the ground. Yeah. It's when I find out it's all been charged to my business bank account. And it was actually him that ordered the sushi.
Yeah.
We're just gifting YouTube money. Roland, thank you so much. Honestly, mate, please don't do any more. I'll get uncomfortable now. $300 and 140 members in a night is mad. I get uncomfortable when John does it, and he comes in and does that every now and again. It's insane. Thank you.
So my plan is to get
Oh,
the
still talking about
symptoms.
this.
Yeah. My plan is to get the symptoms fucked off pretty much.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Because I think it's this. I think you can be asymptomatic with mixed connective tissue disease. I think you can be. It's not very common because it's the symptoms that fuck you over. It's the Raynaud's, the aches, and I think it runs alongside rheumatoid arthritis as well.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea. I don't. I listen to what you say, obviously, but I don't really do any of the research because I know you're balls deep into it anyway. So I'm just the person who's like, Are you sleeping well? Have you drank enough? Have you had some fresh air? Are you eating well? Have you had your breakfast? Are you eating dinner? And I'm going to keep doing that part.
Because that's all you can.
It's not all I can do, but if I can ensure that you're taking on board enough water, doing some exercise, getting some fresh air, eating enough meals when you need to, because I think a lot of people, when they get to the point where they can get fatigued with being sick, they can get fatigued with being unwell, and then they can start, some of their personal care can start to deteriorate, and they can start to not be drinking enough water, or be like, I don't really want breakfast, I don't really want to have dinner, I'm not really going to eat. And that's not going to help. Of course, that's only going to make things worse, because if you're not fueling your body correctly, that's sleep, water and food, and exercise for that matter, if you're not fueling it correctly, then it's going to start to struggle to fight off what it was already fighting off, and then you'll just be even worse.
Yeah. What I do find interesting is autoimmune conditions, because it's your immune system. I assumed any kind of cold or the sniffles or anything, the second it found me, I'd get taken out with it. But that's not happened.
It's odd, isn't it?
It's really odd. I just assumed having an immune system.
But isn't autoimmune that it's overzealous rather than under? So it attacks things it shouldn't. So like your immune system's still there, still fights the colds, but it's more keen, I guess, than it would normally be.
This is it. They send me home with a leaflet that encourages me to Google.
Well, that's what they do.
So then I'm like, right, well...
Have you not been to the doctors where they just fucking bring up WebMD? Boop, 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 there you go.
Yeah. When I got my PCOS diagnosis, which is now, some doctors are categorising it as pre-autoimmune because it interrupts your endocritic system. She did a print off from Google.
Yeah.
And I said to her, you've been telling me not to Google, and here it is from Google.
Yeah, right, but there is a difference when the doctor can bring up something from Google and go, I know that's wrong. And they can bring up something from Google, I know that's right, here it is in a printed form that you can read. There is a slight difference.
But then the best advice I got for PCOS, if you can't get pregnant because your PCOS is really going off, cut out or cut down dairy.
No.
I know that to get pregnant with Ben, I cut down dairy to its bare minimal. I was a sad panda for a long time, but
No.
I got the baby, so
Yeah. I'm sad panda now. My GP has been fab with me, to be fair. Explained my issue over the phone. She said, right, come to me right now for a finger up the bum. Full test and referral. Issue is referral is long. And Alex went, Dave, are you sure that was a GP and not an escort?
Yeah.
That's because Alex has clearly previously paid to have a finger up the bum.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously. Anyway, any more thoughts, chat, for postcards or any kind of comments about these balanced data slates? I honestly, genuinely, legitimately believe that 40k is in a really decent place. I'm having a ton of fun playing it. I know that the rules are kind of in 5,000 places, and if you're new, it can be convoluted. But if you have kept up with it all, as I have, obviously, I'm having so much fun playing games now and being around games of 40k at the moment. So much fun. Really, really enjoying it. I think these balanced data slates, when they're minor changes, I mean, obviously the tower one was quite a major change, but for the most part, when they're minor changes, I think that is indicative of a game that is in a pretty good place right now. I think GW are doing a good... I'm going to say it and get called a shill. I think GW are doing a good job for the most part.
Such a shill.
Such a shill. I think I do genuinely think they're doing a good job for the most part, honestly. Oh my lord. Oh, also, there's going to be bonus content on Sunday. !Vag. I'm going to be battlefielding on Sunday. !Vag. Oh, I can't. Hang on. I've drank too much mead as well without having any dinner. Half cut right now. Thoughts on the Lord of Scores and change? I think he's an interesting choice now. A 14-inch move, a better invuln, a better melee weapon, better abilities. I think he's an interesting choice now. We've bought 2 for Joe's army. Emperor's children get kicked in the nuts. Yes, that is another problem that they got wrong. I said that when I did the review of it. Hamlin. I said that when I did the review of the points changes. I don't agree with what they did with Emperor's Children. I think that was a kick in the dick. I don't necessarily mind the units that went up going up, because they are the only units being taken, but there is a bigger problem as to why they're the only units being taken, and they didn't fix any of those other issues.
For loose.
Aww.
We're getting you your private doctor's appointment now. You just have to wait till the 25th of next month for this all to come in, alright?
Enthused about the new DA detachment, but I am still worried Gladius and Stormlands are more competitive. As a DA player, I hate that all SM stuff is geared towards the Smurfs first and foremost.
But Buerns, honestly, Mr. Buerns, I think that Dark Angels detachment that's come out today, for Dark Angels players, is a competitor to Gladius, honestly. And I think specifically in the context of things like Deathwing Knights. Imagine Deathwing Knights now that are 5 for 250 points, that are -1 to wound, -1 damage, and you can throw armor or contend on them for -1 AP. They're obnoxiously difficult to shift. Like, obnoxiously difficult to shift. I actually think the detachment's very, very good. And even Inner Circle Companions at toughness 4 with a Librarian or Azrael in the unit to give them that 4-up invulnerable save become quite obnoxious as well. Like, I think it's really good. I honestly think it's really, really good, mate. And I think that for the most part, I said this before, for me, I think looking at Space Wolves, I still think Gladius is probably the most competitive way of going. I think the Dark Angels attachment gives the player a choice to make, honestly. And forever we said, the problem is Gladius is the best. The problem is Gladius is the best. The problem is Gladius is the best. And this is the first time I've gone, maybe this time it's not. So that's a positive. Oh, that's good. But we'll talk about this more tomorrow, because Joe, who's our new resident Dark Angels player, has opinions on all of the new detachments. So if you find a good private doctor, let me know. I'm trying to get a Ehlers-Danlos syndrome diagnosis, connective tissue disorder, but NHS waiting list is mental. Can't be true. Can't be true, Jess, because all the government are telling us is that all the waiting times are coming down. I'm here with a 4-month-old puppy. What breed? What breed? I'm excited.
I saw a very cute, like, husky crossbreed thing on Facebook. And you know when they do that talking, that...
Luce wanted to start her own YouTube channel chat today.
Yeah.
Called Mum's Mario.
No, Mum Plays Mario.
Oh, this doesn't sound as good as Mum's Mario.
No, I don't like Mum's Mario. Mum Plays Mario. And you know how YouTubers for kids, they constantly shout?
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
You don't do that. You just talk to the dog.
I'm going to be pensive and patient.
Pensive? Fuck off. Patience not a word in your vocabulary either, woman.
And the one level that I've been stuck on for 3 years, we shall travel together through it, chat. And we will get the 3rd star coin. I see it in my future.
So she's going to do Mum's Mario.
No,
right?
Mum Plays Mario.
And she'll sit there in the lounge playing Mario, and there'll be a camera on Luce and a camera on the dog, and that'll be the person she talks to.
And sometimes you'll see me pause it to think about what didn't work, and I might pour myself a tea and drink some tea and fuss the dog, and then I'll talk about my idea over with Emmy dog, because she's my little mascot. And then after about 10 minutes, then I'll go, do you know what, Emmy, I can't be bothered with this. I'm going to have a bubble bath. And then I'll turn it off.
How do you feel about this chat, we in? It's very good. I worry it didn't have as much punch if you don't end up on Deathwing Knights, but I will be playing around a lot. I'm looking forward to the stream tomorrow. I think the sweet spot for the detachment is 10 Deathwing Knights. Joe still thinks 15, but of course he does his Joe. Stephen's new dog is a black German Shepherd called Bear.
A black one.
I really want a German Shepherd.
No, we're done. After Emmy, we're done. Yep, we're done. That's what you promised me. We're done.
So this is the problem. I want 70% of what being a dog owner is.
Right. Yeah.
And the problem is the 30% part that I don't want is the bit that's really fucking restrictive. So there's only a small part, because let's face it, the issues that she causes us with when we have to get back for her, or if we've got to worry about whether we can take her with us or not, is actually, on the grand scheme of things, is quite a small percentage, isn't it? If you think about it, really. It's like 20-30% of our time is like...
Annual bonus hit, sharing the love, red heart emoji.
Thank you, CSM Sandy. You're a legend. So, like the holiday, considering the dog for the holiday is not a thing we have to worry about every week, but it is a thing we have to be concerned of. So it's a small part. Like, it's the 20-30% of it is the part where I'm like... But it's such a huge deal because it's so restrictive that's why I'm like, I really want a German Shepherd. I don't want another dog though. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm done with dogs now. Emmy's been amazing, but I'm done with dogs now because dog needs never change. Children's needs change. They get a bit more independent, and maybe you're needed in a different capacity, but it's not as intense as baby and toddlerhood. Whereas dogs will never not need you any less than they do. They'll now need you more because as they get older, incontinence comes in, or maybe there's an ailment or an illness that you now have to monitor as well. We don't know what her winter years are going to look like, and hopefully she'll go peacefully. But once she's done, I'm done, because now I have a medical need that me looking after a dog will force me to put myself last.
Yeah. There's other things as well though, like, because you were like, originally you sort of was close to a yes about it if I took the dog to work. I was like, yeah, that's cool. It'll be mine. I'll take it. I'll be the person responsible for all the time. I was like, what if I want to ride the bike in? And then I can't. And here comes that restrictive part. Because, you know, and to be quite frank and very, very honest, there's no replacing her anyway.
No.
Not at any time soon. And think of all the space we'll get back for activities.
Because she takes up so much space.
That bed in the kitchen.
It's her bed.
I don't know how many times I've just tripped over that.
Then look where you're going.
And the amount of times I trip over it and she looks up at me in disgust as well. Fucking creature. Doc's name was Bennett, says Get Lost. Check out MK18 in Buckingham. There you go. MK18 in Buckingham. Probably write it down. I'll do it for you now.
No, I'll write it down. MK18.
Buckingham. Bennett.
King.
Don't let Art of War with the hard on for Gladius fool you. They don't play Dark Angels, they play Ultramarines with a single Dark Angels character, a single Dark Angels unit. That's not Dark Angels. I mean, I love the guys at Art of War, but I don't pay attention to what they do for detachments because they are 100% focused on the things that have the best rules, which is fine. Oh, that's cool. It's just not my way of playing. No sidecars, chat. Pack it in with the sidecars. No sidecars. Right. Anyway, some of you have been pretty good. Some of you have been all right. One of you's been insane.
In the membrane.
So thank you so much to everybody who's gifted. Thank you so much to everybody who super chatted. And a monumental thank you to Roland. Because if you look at that membership target and realise that he gifted 140 of them, we've had 23 members from other people. So it's fair to say that without Roland, tonight would have been flat disastrous.
Not flat disastrous.
23 members would be considered a disaster.
Just 23 members to go.
It wasn't to go though, was it? That's the problem.
Just 23 members.
77
oh, no.
to go. Do the 77 to go. That doesn't
That's
fit.
too many syllables.
Exactly. Thank you, Roland, you fucking hero, for saving the night. You're amazing. Tomorrow we have the Liam and Joe show at 1:30. We'll be talking about the new detachments, all three of them. In the evening we have a live game of 40k, Paddy versus Joe, probably new Dark Angels, probably new Tau rules. I'm not saying for definite because I haven't confirmed with Paddy yet. And then on Friday we'll be back with After Dark so I can finish the rest of this bottle with you wonderful human beings. But before we disappear, we do have that magical moment you've all been waiting for, all 160 of you. It's time for Loose Fact.
An adult sleeping with another adult in a standard bed has less space than a baby in a cot.
Firmly believe.
Is it something to do with women hogging the bed?
Firmly believe. We didn't even sleep at a standard in holiday. We slept in a double and I didn't have any room. If I rolled over that way, I fell out of bed. If I rolled that way, I bumped into you. And if I rolled anyway, I felt like I was going to get seasick. Fully believe. Is Yeston around? Because I haven't seen him tonight.
I was just thinking that. We shall have to go on checkless.
I mean, chat is just saying it's true. Loose. We've got 3 people are engaged. That's it. Standard is barely above a military cot. I assume when it says standard, it means a single bed.
I thought it meant a standard double bed because it's 2 adults sharing a bed.
I assumed if it meant standard double, it would say standard double. I don't know, because actually a standard single doesn't make sense because that's almost obvious you wouldn't have as much space.
Why would 2 adults share a single?
Because we shared a single when we first got together.
Yeah, we were young, thin things.
We were much thinner. I could see my own toes. Much thinner. Most men will feel this one. Philroy says, my wife and I have a king size and I still have a standard. Mordy Hammer goes, oh, I got a point somehow. Must be from that 10 gifted that you gave. There is definitely less space for everyone if there's 2 adults in a cot, whereas a baby would be lost in a double bed. Most new builds can barely fit a double bed these days. Can they? Is that true? The thing is,
I think so.
What's ours? Is ours king size? Queen size, king size?
No,
Ours king size?
Yeah.
Just normal king?
Yeah.
I'd struggle without that now.
Yeah.
In fact, I do. When we go to doubles beds.
We got it because Ben went through a phase of getting in our bed.
I'd struggle with... Excuse me, sorry. Ah! I struggle without a king size now, I'll be honest. Right, you wonderful people. Chat have basically decided it is true. That's a fact. We don't need Yeston's checks. It's true. I'm sure he'll join us at some point. You people have been amazing. Like I said, big shout out to everybody for all the gifteds and all the generosity. Massive, massive, massive shout out to Roland making Wednesday's well-hung wangs up at the monumental 163. That's it's been on the screen the whole time. Wednesday's well-hung wangs.
I've struggled to tell the difference. There's so many logos on your shirt that they're...
This is the Yamaha Factory Racing MotoGP shirt.
My new build has enough room for the double bed and 1 side drawers. Yeah, I think new builds are smaller somehow. Even though...
I think
They are smaller
I'm
now,
going to say this as a person who doesn't own a house and really wants to own a house, but doesn't have the money to own a house. I do think if a new build came up for us to buy and we couldn't fit a king-size bed and at least 1 bedside table, I'd be like, deal breaker for me. Like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Because I just need the space to sleep properly.
Our military house, was that considered a new build?
It was quite new at the time, yeah.
And that was small.
But this was a new build in 2003-ish. So it's only like 22 years old.
Do you know, my childhood home was definitely, now I think about how the room's laid out, it was bigger. Yeah, I think new builds are smaller.
Yeah, you get more in the space then, can't they? Sell more houses. Right, anyway, you people have been amazing. I need to go make my kids porridge. Otherwise, they'll die of starvation overnight, apparently. So, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, we have got Liam and Joe show tomorrow at 13:30 to talk about the 3 new detachments. We'll be showcasing at least one of them tomorrow night at 7:30. We're back for After Dark on Friday at 9 p.m. New time, 9 p.m. Some people ask for it to be later. It's going to be later. And then on Sunday, the plan is a Battlefield Vag chill day. Some of it. All right? So there you go. Good. Everyone happy? Cool. thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, please make sure you give it a like. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. If you've got anything else you want to say about the Balanced Dataslate or the Minotaur and Film Manual, please feel free to stick it in the comment section after the show. I do still read all of the comments. You people are incredible. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for the Liam and Joe show. Before we disappear, Luce, is there anything you want to say to these wonderful people?
Best chat.
Yes, best Roland Bain. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you. Where's my button? In the next one.